What's good, YouTube? It's your boy D-Rip. Today, we are back with another reaction. Today, we're going to be reacting to why fans have come back to WWE in 2023. I don't know y'all reasons, but I've been back ever since Vince left. I'm not going to lie. I was watching on and off before he left. I was only watching pay-per-views. I wasn't really watching SmackDown and Raw while Vince was there. But ever since he left, I've been watching every single Raw and SmackDown, including the pay-per-views. I don't know what it is. I don't know. It just seems like it's just more entertaining. I think Vince started running out of ideas and it got really boring and dry. So a lot of people stopped watching. People got tired of watching the same people. Triple H brought out some new people. But anyway, hey, first time to channel, make sure I go ahead and hit that thumbs up. Make sure y'all subscribe because your boy is almost at 4K. Help your boy out, please. We're almost at 4K. Like, share these videos with some of y'all friends. I got a lot of videos. Share these videos with some of y'all friends. I know y'all got friends. And if you don't, I know you got family. And if you don't, share it to your dog. And if you don't have a dog, you gotta have a cat. And if you don't have a cat, of course there's a fish somewhere. Share it with everybody. I don't care who you share it with. Share it with somebody. I got a lot of videos. I got OMG moments. I got savage moments. I got a lot of moments. Make sure y'all go ahead and watch those videos and make sure y'all click the thumbs up in all of them. And subscribe. Hey man, without further ado, let's see why a lot of fans have come back to WWE in 2023.
Vince McMahon may be back in the WWE boardroom, but thankfully he's been out of WWE creative since last July. Join us now as we look at why Vince McMahon leaving has turned WWE into a better product. Be sure to subscribe and hit our new channel. TV and PLEs are more entertaining.
They sure are.
Fans can't help but notice that Raw and SmackDown are like night and day from when Vince ran things and the current regime under Triple H. The cerebral assassin has worked to eliminate many of the problems that drag down WWE TV, the same matches week after week, inconsistent pushes for wrestlers, a lack of direction, and little build-up for PLEs. But things have improved for PLEs as fans no longer have to deal with meaningless matches on the show or filler-like hype videos. While we miss having matches on the pre-show, it doesn't miss TV matches somehow making it to PLEs, either denying better talent the chance to wrestle or cutting into time for an important match. While both TV shows still deal with problems during major sporting events, overall, they've held up in the ratings market that is constantly deteriorating. Number 2, more outside wrestlers are interested in working for WWE, released than others. Isn't it funny how so many wrestlers wanted their releases when Vince McMahon was running their show, and now it seems like everyone can't wait to get back into WWE?
That is true.
Whether it's released wrestlers who are happy working smaller promotions like Impact, or wrestlers who were content just being out of WWE, the tide has changed. Fans have heard stories of contracted talent wanting back into the WWE, and while these can't be confirmed, legally the WWE is barred from contacting wrestlers under contract even if the promotion has been accused of doing so. It is known that talent from other promotions such as AEW have hinted that they might be happier in WWE.
Ooh.
Number 3,
Adam Cole
wrestling seems cool again. While wrestling has never been known as highbrow entertainment, it's been a long time since fans have been able to watch WWE TV with non-fans without feeling embarrassed. No matter how good the wrestling might be, fans could always count on one or more cringy moments in which they'd hang their head in shame and feel like they were better off binge-watching.
It was a little childish.
My 600-pound life.
It was a little childish.
For the most part, that's no longer the case, and it shows as more celebrities are willing to appear in WWE, and wrestling seems to be enjoying a bump in mainstream popularity. Whether this is the result of the WWE's broadcast partners promoting its shows on other programming is unknown, but the WWE does seem to be enjoying an uptick in popularity. Number 4, less emphasis on talentless muscle men. Don't you miss roided out, genetically gifted non-talents like Lars Sullivan, whose monster pushes that were inversely related to their actual talent?
That were getting all the pushes just because Vince liked the way their physique was. But it seems like Triple H has a lot of smaller guys, like Johnny Gargano, Sami Zayn, a lot of guys that aren't muscly built, I should say. And I know muscly is not a word, but you know what I mean. All right, don't judge me. All right, I didn't graduate college.
Talent. Vince McMahon's eternal quest for bigger and better has always been a problem for him ever since the days when he tried to find the next Hulk Hogan. Save for the new generation era when the WWF steroid scandal had him looking for anyone whose physique didn't seem to come from a laboratory. This has always been the problem with Vince, and for some reason it became worse through the years. The WWE still has some big men and women in the company, but these superstars are more than mounds of muscle. They can wrestle matches. The WWE is also using its big men better, creating hoss fights like Brock Lesnar vs Bobby Lashley rather than squashes like Brock Lesnar vs Ricochet. Number 5. Announcers are allowed to do their jobs.
Yes.
What's happened to the WWE announcers? Did Triple H replace them? Well, no, he's allowed them to think for themselves rather than having to deal with the harping of Vince McMahon and their headsets. Turns out Michael Cole wasn't a hack collecting a paycheck every week. In fact, it's quickly become clear he's one of the best announcers a WWE has ever had.
He is the
Kevin
best.
Patrick has risen to the occasion on Raw, and the Red
best.
Brand's color commentator Corey Graves really does have an edge that makes him entertaining to listen to. The two have even managed to work around the often artificial babyface announcer and heel color commentator dynamic, making it entertaining. Number 6. Outside wrestling world acknowledged. Did you know that AJ Styles and Finn Balor once worked in New Japan Pro Wrestling as members of the Bullet Club?
Yes.
Well, you never would have heard this mentioned on WWE TV under Vince McMahon's regime.
They did say that. Michael Cole said that.
However, with the exception of All Elite Wrestling, the WWE has much more open policy when it comes to acknowledging wrestlers past in other promotions and the existence of these promotions. Just as important, the WWE is slowly opening the so-called forbidden door by allowing some of its wrestlers to appear in other promotions. For example, Shinsuke Nakamura was allowed to wrestle the Great Muta in Pro Wrestling Noah, while Carl Anderson worked a New Japan event that also had wrestlers from AEW, although Anderson didn't wrestle anyone from AEW. There are also rumors that WWE is allowing NXT talent to work with select indie promotions, quite a difference from the days when an appearance by Impact Wrestling's Mickie James at the Royal Rumble was nothing short of a miracle. Number 7. Wrestling isn't booked for Vince, but for the fans. Once upon a time, Vince McMahon had his finger.
So does that mean Sammy is going to beat Roman? Does that mean that? Because this is recorded the day of Sammy versus Roman in Elimination Chamber. So I really hope Sammy wins because he's in his hometown. He's probably going to cry if he does win. He's probably going to jump in the crowd. You know, like John Cena did at WrestleMania 21. Jumping in the crowd, you know, with the title up. I really hope Sammy wins, man.
Were on the pulse of the fans. He also had men around him who knew the business and who he was willing to listen to for advice.
He had a lot of
At some point, Vince McMahon lost touch with the fans' taste and he began surrounding himself with lackeys who would do anything but disagree with him. It's easy to understand why Mr. McMahon would think he knew it all. This was a man who put WCW and ECW out of business. Although there's a case to be made that WWE's rivals put themselves out of business and was the acknowledged king of sports entertainment. So if Vince McMahon thought Batista was a better winner at the Royal Rumble than fan favorite Daniel Bryan, who are the fans to question him? If the fans can't take Roman Reigns as a babyface, why should Vince listen? With Vince out of creative, fans can now support wrestlers, knowing there's a good chance the WWE will acknowledge their cheers and push wrestlers rather than burying them for daring to defy the company line. Number 8. Wrestlers can communicate with management. It's often been said that Mr. McMahon lives in his own world, which may explain why wrestlers were often unable to find him. Even before the pandemic, more wrestlers were complaining that Vince was impossible to find, so much that you'd think Vince was playing a billion-dollar version of hide-and-go-seek with his talent. This led to increased frustration as wrestlers had to deal with various mid-level personnel when they had questions or problems, often leading to miscommunication with the wrestlers getting blamed for something.
You already know he's at Gorilla. Why y'all looking for him? He's at Gorilla. He's at every show at Gorilla. Why y'all looking for him? You know where he's at. You know he ain't in the office. He's at Gorilla. He's at Gorilla. Yelling at Michael Cole. Yelling at the referees. Yelling at superstars when they come back through the curtains. You know where he's at.
I think that was lost in translation. By most accounts, it appears wrestlers have as close to an open door as they can get when it comes to sharing their ideas and on occasion their compliments. That doesn't mean that their problems are always solved, but there's much better communication in WWE right now. Number 9. Logic in storytelling. Wrestling is an entertainment genre with its own rules and conventions. Much like any genre, be it science fiction, horror, mysteries or westerns, its fans expect the characters and the work they operate in to follow the established rules and conventions. In WWE, there are baby faces and heels. While wrestlers can change from one alignment to another, there's usually some sort of plot element that causes such a drastic change. Similarly, rules are consistently enforced by referees, even if said officials have an uncanny ability to miss heels breaking the rules. That wasn't the case with Vince McMahon as wrestlers turned with no rhyme or reason, Braun Strowman exemplifying this, and rules like the brand split were routinely thrown out. Need we mention the wild card rule? Number 10. Overall stability. Fans have heard many stories about how the WWE is a much more relaxed environment to work in. Although Vince's return could change that, the current narrative is that wrestlers and employees are much more comfortable going to work. This seems to show more enthusiastic performances from everyone around.
Yeah, I think Sasha Banks is ever coming back. Unless she's in Japan right now. And I don't know what Naomi's doing. But I was really hoping for some kind of good return for the Royal Rumble. There was literally one male return, which really, like, when I say return, I'm talking about actual return, like legend, Booker T. Female had a lot. Had a lot of NXT people. And they also had Nia Jax. But the males had nobody but Logan Paul and Booker T. And we already knew Cody was gonna be there, so that don't really count as a return to me. When I say return, unexpected return, I should say. It was very dry. Do better next year. I was gonna go to that Royal Rumble too. I'm glad I didn't go now.
There have been less reports of backstage heat. The Triple H honeymoon may end, but so far everyone seems to be in a much better mindset, which in turn has helped the product. And number 11, a drastic decrease in stupid comedy segments. While it's unknown if Vince McMahon has the mind of a 5th grader, there should be no doubt that he has the sense of humor of one. Vince's idea of what is funny has always been suspect, but over the last few years it's produced plenty of cringeworthy moments with toilet humor that just isn't funny and frankly does nothing to help professional wrestling or make its fans want to be associated with it. But there you have it, folks. Why Vince's leaving has been good for WWE.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm getting tired. Alright. It's almost 3 o'clock in the morning. If I got anything else y'all want me to react to though, let me know in the comments. I'm trying to grind for y'all, man. I'm trying to grind for y'all because Lord knows. I've been busy, alright? But look, if y'all got anything else y'all want me to react to in particular, let me know down below in the comments. And let me know your predictions for Elimination Chamber if you see this before you watch the Elimination Chamber. Hey man, like the video, subscribe if you're new. It's your boy D-Riv. I'm out.